So I think we're on. We are on. So good evening and welcome to Corks Conversation. This is episode 3. We have a very special guest today of Mixed MKE. Courtney is a mixologist. Hi, Courtney. Thank you for joining us today. I'm
For
excited to
having me.
talk to you today. Excited to talk to you today. And so, first thing I like to do is, what are you drinking?
I am sipping on Frank Lens. The
Okay,
blend.
okay. All
So
right. So
I
I actually, huh?
I put mine in the freezer because I wanted it to be like real cold, and I put
Mm-hmm.
some fruit in it because I'm extra. So
Okay. All righty. All right. So I am also drinking on Turkey Blends. This was no pun intended, but I'm drinking on the raspberry peach sangria. Another one of our sangrias that we have. So today we're going to interview you, basically just ask you some questions about your journey as a mix. First things first, just give us a little background about how Mixed MKE got started.
oh man, how did I get started? So really, I was like the drink maker at all of the parties and stuff, and I'm just extra, and I
Mm-hmm.
like aesthetic pleasing, if you will. So I one day was just like, you know what, I'm gonna start like posting like drink videos, making cocktails and stuff, and and garnishing pretty, and just see like what the or I actually look at like maybe turning it into a career. And it took off like right away. Like I posted a few videos and got some decent views, especially like for TikTok and stuff. And then people just started reaching out to me to do different events, and I'm like, okay, it looks like I'm on my way. So, and that was like maybe 3 years ago, and then here I am.
Okay. Here you are today. So 3 years ago, that was close. That's like kind of similar to me. I started making wine like during the pandemic. Was the
Yeah.
pandemic like something that made you think, okay, it's time for me to do something for myself? 'Cause that's how I felt. I was like,
Yeah.
locked in the
Mm-hmm.
house. I had been working all these corporate positions and stuff, and I was like, I really should start looking to make some money for myself.
You know what? It bothered me for a really long time that I was approaching my 30s or like in my 30s a little bit, and I still didn't feel like I was doing something that I really love doing. Like I have a corporate job too, which
Hmm.
I love my job. Like I've been there 14 years. But
Right.
you also have other things that really fill your bucket too, like outside of that corporate world, because the corporate world belongs to somebody else, unless it's yours, right? So
Yes.
for me, I was like I need to like figure out what different things, and nothing really like made me happy the way I wanted to be happy. And so I told myself when I started this business too that if I ever got to a place where I don't like doing it, that I'm not going to do it anymore.
Hmm.
Because with so many other things, like at one point I was styling, right? And so like it was fun until it wasn't. I was like, this is probably too much for me. It's not really what I was thinking it was going to be. And so instead of like forcing myself to just keep going with that and see what happens, I was like, I don't think that's right for me. I don't think that's exactly what I want. And so I did start to lean more into this stuff. The other thing I credit is Portman's been at Portman's, because during the pandemic, the bars and stuff were shut down, and he a lot of people had to pivot on like how they were making money. Like bars and restaurants were closed, you couldn't go out to eat, and you weren't going to go have a drink anywhere. But at the same time, these businesses weren't making money. They don't have anybody coming in,
Hmm.
so they started selling cocktail kits. And I bought one from him, and it was a peach old fashioned cocktail kit. And I went home, and like it came with all the stuff that you needed for it. And I was making peach old fashions for like a week straight every single day. And I was like, I love doing this. Like I love just getting creative with different flavors and like
Right.
trying different things. And so I always credit that. I owe him that credit because that's definitely something that made me say, you know what? I want to look into that more.
Definitely. You have to give credit when it's due. I feel like for me, a place called the Cannery in Madison because I was like a traveling portfolio manager. So I would be all over Wisconsin throughout the
Yeah.
entire pandemic. So I was in different offices every day. Caught COVID 2 times.
Oh my
And when I was in Madison, yeah, because in my field we were considered essential workers. So I was
God.
traveling nonstop the whole time. And when I think I was just wandering around Madison and I walked into like a small little like a winery, and it was in Madison, it was tucked away, but they had like I had already started making wine. So he like took me under his wing, like he would order stuff for me. He would tell me like,
Mhm.
okay, bring a couple bottles in and I'll tell you what's right, what's wrong. So I owe
Oh,
him that credit because yeah. So I owe him that credit because he helped me a lot along my journey. Because at
yeah.
first, like I called myself on the smash grapes, all types of stuff, and I didn't even need to do all that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was
It's nice
insane.
people are willing to help you. You know what I mean? Especially when they have their own lane and they're already doing it, or something similar,
Hmm.
them to give the keys basically, it means a lot. I mean, I had even with again back to Portman's one time he let me come in and like basically do I worked behind the bar and I made my own cocktails, like my own recipes and stuff, like a little pop-up sort of
Hmm.
thing. And opportunity that was the first time I'd ever done anything like that. So yeah, like those opportunities that like normally I would have never thought that I would have had. So and it especially coming from
Right.
somebody, because he could have easily said like, oh no, she's probably going to be my competition one day or something like that, but not at all. He definitely has been 1,000% team player and helped me out a whole lot.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm 100% collaboration.
Yeah.
Collaboration is everything to me. I feel
Hmm.
like everyone has a lane, and you being in your lane doesn't mean that you're going to, cause a car accident in my lane.
Right.
Consistent. You have to have good customer service and you have to give a good product. There are certain things
Yeah.
that separate you from your competition, but still you can collaborate with them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
so, and then you learn from you learn from your elderlies. You learn from
Yep.
the people that who have been, and you need that information. Like I need that feedback from them, people who are actually in the industry, especially as a minority stepping
Mm.
into an industry that is predominantly male,
Yep.
predominantly white male.
Yep.
So just those things alone, sometimes you have to start making those connections and not looking at everyone as, oh, you're gonna steal my sales today. Like,
Right.
like if you
Yeah.
if you do good business and you give good product and you have good customer service, then people will come back off of that.
Yep.
That brings me to my next question. Um, but before we do questions, you guys, if you guys have questions, you can drop them in the chat box. We can see you guys, but we're talking right now. But hey, Erica. Hey, everyone. I want to do one by ones right now because there's a lot of y'all in there that I'm talking. I'm not gonna lie to you, so I can't see what's going on. But if you guys have questions, if you want to drop a question down for myself or Courtney, definitely put those questions in because we'll have a time where we'll answer those questions before we get off the live. Um, so for you, what is a cocktail that you would recommend for beginners?
That's a good question. There's so many good ones. I guess I would say it depends on your taste preference. I recommend a flight. I
Mm-hmm.
recommend get like three different kinds, and then you test out different.
Mm-hmm.
People have, you know, bitter, sweet, savory. Like there's all these little in betweens, and in order for you to figure out what you really like, you really need to test out like what your palate leans towards. For me, it's sweet. I know for some people, it's like that
Mm-hmm.
bitter, smoky, even. So there's a bunch of different kinds out there. It's similar to wine. Like I don't listen
Right.
a lot. I do know that there are a bunch of different um, and stuff, and so you test out what appeals to you. So that's what I would recommend, trying a few things. And I also would recommend starting with straights, like just get, different whiskeys, right? And
Straight
then
shots.
yep, exactly. And just little sips of, I mean, you can go bigger if you want to, but just to kind of, because
That
everything's
seemed like a
different.
little dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be down for it because
yeah.
because
That's
just like with wine, you have like a palate in general. Your palate is a general palate. Like vodkas are almost a no-go
right.
for me. Um, and it's crazy because I can do like gins,
Yeah.
but only with French 75s. I
Yeah.
won't just be drinking a bottle of gin, like just
Yeah.
willy-nilly. I don't, yeah, I
Sidecars.
really don't like vodkas like that,
Mhm.
and then I like for brown liquors, I like cognacs, but I don't really like whiskeys like that.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
definitely maybe doing like a tasting, like and
Yep.
then learning your palate for
Yep.
liquor to like the whole cocktail situation.
Yep.
Tequila, yeah, tequila is my girl.
Tequila is
That's
my
my
girl.
friend.
I don't know if I ever met a tequila. I love that.
I've never. And stuff. I don't know. I can't do Quavo. I did Quavo when I was younger. Though. I'm not gonna sit here and act like
Yeah.
I wasn't out here drinking Quavo Gold
Yes. Oh, we all been there.
because I was
Great.
straight, straight with a straw.
Yep. Yep.
Jesus.
We've all been there.
One time, like a little brunch, and somebody brought a bottle of Quavo, and I said, "Quavo."
Oof. Oh, the
So back
memories.
in the day, I probably would have been like, "Ooh, take a
Right.
shot." Ain't no way, baby.
Yeah. Once
There's
you
no way now.
get tequilas and stuff, tequila's a really good one to get into. I mean, I'm just a big fan of tequila, but like once you start
Hmm.
tasting, and I'm not even talking Casamigos, like that's not even on the list of ones that are really good. Like really, looking at those ones that are straight from Mexico, that are like not the ones that you commonly hear about, because those are hyped by American media, obviously.
Hmm.
But
I
there's
want to
some,
try a tequila with a worm in it. I've
yeah,
never
yeah.
done that. I do. I kind of want. I really want to. Like, that's on my
You want
bucket list. Like
to learn?
to have. Yeah. So remember on Practical Magic when he was drinking. I've always been interested from there. I've
Okay, I'm a
always been. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. I don't even know why. Because I hate bugs. I hate animals. Any little critters and stuff.
so cute to keep. I
but
like okay.
but something about it being a worm and it interests me to try it. So that's on my bucket list. Brittany, how was it? That's on my bucket list. I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to do it this year because it's my 35th year of life. So I need to
Yeah,
get that out the way because I can't keep thinking like, man, I really want to do that. So when it comes
yeah,
to like your business, hosting events, um, you say you have a corporate job, right?
yes.
Your mom,
Mm-hmm.
fiance.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations on that
Thank
too. Um, homeowner, like you have so much going on. I think that a lot of the times, what I love so far with me having this platform is that I get to talk to like-minded women, that's also in my industry because everyone who I've talked to have had similar things going on and anymore. Like for a long time, I'm like, why am I doing all this at the same time? It's just crazy. It's
yeah.
insane. But it's such a passion for me,
Yeah.
So on your day to day, when you're doing all of these things and then you have events, how do you manage
With again tequila,
that?
we go patient.
Hmm.
I
Listen.
honestly, I have a calendar, and it has to be written. I cannot have it in my phone. I'm not going to look at it if it's in my phone. I have to actually physically write it out. So I have a planner every single year. I buy a new planner. the first thing I do. Like at the end of the year,
Mm-hmm.
I have to write out what my week is gonna look like. I have to prepare for that. Like this week is super crazy with just like all the things that have happening during one time frame. So you have to like make sure you're scheduling that, and you also have to just check in and make sure that you are scheduling like that time for you to just chill or whatever you want to do. But for me, I like to.
Mm-hmm.
I need like a couple hours where I'm just sitting in the bed doing nothing. That's important. But then I also make sure I have stuff scheduled in my calendar for my family. So like I make sure I bought movie tickets early in the week, like to make sure I'm checking off all those boxes too, because it's important to make sure that I like get all of those things done. And it's a lot. It is a lot, but at the same time, I feel like that's kind of what I took on. And I mean, I'm here for it. I'd rather be busy than to not have anything going on. So
Right. Yeah, like for me, that I relate so much because like earlier this week, my daughter was like, "Well, yeah, mom, I'm just getting used to you working a lot," and that kind of hurt my feelings
yeah,
because I do all this so that it means nothing if you're not at your best.
yep,
So there's been I have to like tell people I can't do this event because I need,
yep,
they don't need to know, and like I feel like with this year, it took off so fast for me. I
yeah,
started so many things at once and I had so much going on at once. And it's like I'm managing all those things, but if isn't home, then that means that everything else means nothing to me.
exactly.
So I think that that balance is really, really important because we do all of these things so that we can provide for our home, so that we can show an example to our children. So, so we can be helped different levels to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
So I was like, oh my God, So, having those conversations when you're a mom is like,
yeah.
it's tough,
It's,
you know,
it's
because it's like, baby, I'm doing all this for you. Like, do things for you. But at the same time, if
yeah,
you listen to you listen to your spouse, you listen to your children, you let them know that you understand when you're busy, that they still are important, and you
yeah,
can't just keep running without acknowledging them because then everything makes no sense if you're the only person that's happy and you're really not happy at your best because we run so much, like as
yeah,
moms alone, you're running 24/7. And it's
yep,
like, sometimes I'm like, damn, what are you talking about? And all this other stuff. Like, girl, leave me alone. Like, but I still have to acknowledge her feelings. Like I feel like
yeah,
I spend a lot of time with my daughter. But if
yeah.
she does not feel that, then that's a difference. So
Right.
some things have
Yeah.
to get canceled sometimes when you're an entrepreneur. You know, all money ain't good money. It comes to your children,
Yep.
all money ain't good money.
Yeah. Seriously,
Sometimes you have to
I
cancel that and do something
say,
else.
like I don't have to be busy necessarily. I just say I can't do it. If I look like in the summertime, like last summer, I was like you, I
Hmm.
was like, go, go, go. I had so much stuff happening last summer. It was crazy. And the stuff that we normally do, we have a lot of bonfires and just like little get-togethers and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Like normally. And that last year, I didn't really get a chance to do any of that. So I said this year, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna have times like I might take one or two events in the summer, maybe, but I'm not gonna over
Hmm.
that balance was not there last summer. And that I feel like I felt it a lot. I'm sure my family did too. I in the parts
Hmm.
that I can. And my fiance, he helped me out a lot too. Like I gotta give him his credit because he absolutely helped me out with a tremendous amount of stuff. But definitely my son, to bring him into like have him understand a little bit more like what I'm doing and be there when he can. Obviously, with handling liquor, there's a lot that they can't be or can't do, but when he can
Right.
be, if it's a mocktail thing, yeah, you can, help me pack this stuff up or help me take this stuff to my car or, whatever. Test this mocktail for me. And he loves a mocktail. He loves a garnish.
She
He's
loves to make mocktails.
yes.
Do he just
He
walk around the house making mocktails?
huh?
Does he just walk around the house and make mocktails?
Yes, he just did. Yep, he just made one. It was like a lemonade, like a blackberry orange lemonade thing
Naomi
that
can't. Naomi can't even drink orange juice without
Yep.
Like, what are you doing? Like, no, yeah. So I think we're setting examples though, like as business women, like as women, minority women, hardworking women, to be
Yeah.
exact, working women for our children. Important to make that time. Like that time for them is everything. And I've tried to like, I don't know, mine's a little different. She want to get paid. She'll help with the wine business, but she wants the money. And she makes it very
Girl.
clear that she don't work for free. She tells me all the time, Mama, I don't work for free. So when it comes to making a new cocktail, how do you approach that? Like, where's your mind at creatively when you're thinking of a new?
Oh, that's a good question. So, oftentimes I'm making new cocktails for clients. So if they have like an event and I like to, as much as I can, make it very custom for them, like something that's specific to just their event. So I like to pull from what they like. Tell me about the colors of your event. Tell me about like what you like, what you think your guests will like, what type of alcohol. I take all of that information literally down to the colors and the theme of the event, and that's how I kind of build that cocktail. Because I try to base it off of what they tell me and make it match everything that they have as far as the aesthetic goes.
Mm,
So yeah, sometimes I'm testing out a few different things. You try something, I don't know how I feel about it. You talked a little bit earlier about collaboration, or we talked a little bit earlier about collaboration. And Charisse of On the Rocks Mobile Bartending and we collab a lot. I send her pouches of my
mhm.
samples, test these out for me. She does the same thing for me. Like, tell me what you think about this. So it definitely helps to have somebody else in the same industry that you can bounce those ideas off of and be able to make those adjustments. Like, get another opinion from somebody who's in the same industry. So
Right.
a lot of that too.
Yeah. Second opinions, third opinions, fourth opinions is so important.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so when you're having events, are you specifically doing like the liquor setup, like just the drinks, basically, or are
Yeah.
you a part of like the overall setup?
I'm just doing the bar area only, but I do
Hmm.
get plan or like whoever the host, if they're available. Certain things like weddings and stuff, you don't really want to be working with the actual people who are getting married, but they'll
Right. Exactly.
yeah, bothering them and stuff. I meet with them initially because I want to try to talk to them and know exactly what they want because when you go through somebody else, things can get lost in translation. So I do like to make sure I have a good
Hmm.
understanding up front. Anything critical, I will try to just hurry and get some information from them. But I do work with the event planners so I can coordinate with them on like what they're planning to do, so that I can have a good idea for the bar area. But that's the only area that I usually manage.
What do you think sets apart a great cocktail from a good cocktail?
Balance and aesthetic. The way it looks and the balance, definitely.
Aesthetic is everything, and people don't understand that.
Yeah,
Like a drink could be good, but if it's not aesthetically pleasing,
yeah,
then it's not great.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
I used to bartend, so we used to make sure. I used to always make sure, I topped off drinks, like with the garnish and the fruits and stuff every time, because
Yep,
people want that experience,
yep.
especially when they're out, trying to relax and minds, they want to look at something
Hmm.
that's pretty. They want to post something that's pretty.
Exactly.
Always posting shots all the time is not the most attractive thing. People think you're
Right.
going through something. You post a couple of cute drinks though, it might be
Yeah.
it
That's
might be
like
different.
one of the best compliments that I've heard and a few times was that my drinks were so Instagrammable. I want them to be, something that people want to post,
Hmm.
really feel like, because I mean, yeah, 'cause same thing with food. Like you see something on a plate, it could be the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
sloppy. Not gonna trust that. I don't know if I would enjoy it the same way I would as if it were with a lot of presentation in mind. So I try to always remember that, like that presentation is really everything. Not everything, it's a good part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree. I don't know what just happened. Um, so when it comes down, this light is doing crazy stuff. So when it comes down to like essential tools and ingredients for your bar, what do
Mm-hmm.
you recommend for people that are like new to it, that don't have a bar set up, want to set up a bar in their home, want to make it like an experience? Lord.
Man. So, I mean, you definitely need the starter kit of like the jigger, the shaker. The jigger is like the little thing that measures out for you how much alcohol you're putting in. And I
Mhm.
know I see it going around on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else that people are like, if they use one of these, the drink is not going to be good. But let me tell you, as a licensed bartender, that it should be balanced well with the correct amount of alcohol in it. And sometimes it will call for 2 ounces of alcohol, but
That
still
is that is true.
the balance is important. So that I feel like is necessary for sure. Oh my gosh, there's so many things. I feel like the lemon zester, lemon squeezer thingy, um, ice, the right kind of ice for the drink that you're making. It's different depending on each drink, type of drink that you make. For example, if you're making something just on the rocks, like a whiskey on the rocks or something, or an old fashioned, your ice is bigger. If you're making something that's more like a daiquiri fruit drink, smaller ice. Like there's just different science I feel like to it, and it again helps with the overall presentation, but also the taste because depending on the size of the ice cube and how long it keeps it cold versus when it waters it down. Like there's just a lot of different
Mhm.
things. So making sure you have the right kind of ice for the drink that you're making.
Yeah, I
Ingredients.
definitely agree.
There's so many different ingredients I feel like you should have. Definitely the basics. Grenadine, get real lime juice and juice it yourself. I juice mine myself usually. Um, what else? Sugar cubes. Oh, simple syrup. You can make that.
I
Um,
just got on a simple syrup when I started making the French 75.
yeah,
I just got on it, but I love it. I love
yeah.
it.
Super easy to make yourself too if you ever like don't have any.
Mm. Mm.
But yeah, I think those
No,
would be
yeah. You think those are like your key ingredients?
yeah.
What
I mean everything
I
I do are all different. But I feel like you can get a lot done with those ingredients. And limes. Well, I think I said lemons. I mean, lemons, limes.
You always need some limes. Lemons,
Mhm.
limes definitely are key.
Yep.
Um, I think the sugar, what's it called? The little sugar bowls for like margaritas and stuff, and then the salt one.
For the
Those used to be
rims,
key when I was a bartender.
yeah.
Yeah, for the rims.
Uh-huh. Those are
I don't know.
definitely.
I think a big part of it, like you were saying, like people were asking, the jiggers offend people. You're not pouring me enough liquor, but honestly, like what I say with wine is like everything is not meant to get you drunk.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
things that makes you, like you shouldn't be like one drink and done,
Right. That's not.
falling around on the floor. Like that's not our goal. We really can't do. We will
Yeah.
go to jail.
Yeah. It's.
Like we will go to jail. People have, they have licenses and stuff like that,
Yep.
and you are held legally liable for getting people drunk.
Mm-hmm.
So if I give you a one drink and it pow knocks you out, you done. You done for the
Yeah.
night. Lord forbid get into an accident or something.
Exactly.
Then
Yeah.
I'm liable for that,
Yeah.
And that and then don't think about if you had six of those drinks.
Right.
So if you
Mm-hmm.
see someone pouring correctly, you shouldn't be offended by that at all. Like that shouldn't be something that's offensive. Drinks require a certain amount of liquor, a certain amount of juice and stuff like that. Like it has to have a balance.
Yeah. Exactly.
What is what is one of your most um, memorable experiences from being a mixologist?
My most memorable. Oh man. Okay, my most memorable, I would say, is the 1950s themed baby shower that I did because it was so unique and so different. Really like pushed myself out of what I not my norm. And I had the other challenge of it being outdoors in late summer, which equals wasps and hornets and all that fun stuff. So working through hot, but I got it done. It came out so it really pushed me, like I said, to like go outside of my comfort zone or of like what I would normally do. And it challenged me to be really creative, more creative than I usually am. So that's one of the ones that really stands out to me, I would say. One of the things.
Okay. So with outside setups, like how do you prepare for those?
I'm
Because you
not
have to think like you have like sugars
but
and then you
I'm
have like,
not my
bees and
yes, they're not my friend at all. I don't particularly love an outdoor set. I will do it, but I don't love it. I'm learning that because you're always learning in this business as you go, that it's probably best to have a tent. Because if you're just out in the open, you're exposed to all those elements. Ice melts immediately. Bees are going to come around the time, or bees got into my batch of margarita that I had out, and I had to dump the whole
oh
entire.
Lord.
Yes. So that was not fun. And I mean it's hot, it's sticky, things melt. So I'm still learning when it comes to the outdoor events. Like I said, I think the best thing to do is have a tent. Something enclosed that the bar can be in at least. Like maybe you have the rest of the stuff outside open to everybody, but have like the bar area space because there's so many things that you're working with. It doesn't usually end up super great when you're out there in all the elements.
All right. What advice would you give someone that was aspiring to get or to become a mixologist?
Look up your laws. Number one. That's been a huge thing for me. I get a
Yes.
lot of times who reach out to me and they're like, can you sell me drinks? Like, no, that's illegal. I cannot. I also can't.
Cannot.
I cannot show up somewhere and sell drinks like $5 margaritas here. Like I can't, as mobile bartenders, we cannot do that. The only people who can do that are people who have brick and mortars, bar, people who hold that license because that license is for an establishment. It's not for a person. Being a mobile bartender, I don't have an establishment. So I can't invoice for liquor. I can't, like I said, set up shop and sell liquor or drinks with
Right.
them. So that number one, and I see, and it happens all the time. And it is confusing. And that was one of my biggest hurdles in starting the business was like finding out and figuring out what do I need to have and what don't I need to have. I can't tell you how many times I've called and been down to City Hall, the state building, like all these places they would send me to try to get this
I'm
information.
talking about be on the phone.
Oh, yes. Like nobody knows. You're like, well, what do you do? You know what I mean? Because I want to be in compliance. I don't want to risk my license, my reputation, anything. I plan on and I get big contracts. I don't want to have.
It's crazy how many of them don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to start with doing that legwork. And it's a lot and it's confusing, but you got to do that stuff. That's important. If you want to be a reputable like business, if you want to be a legit business, you have to make sure you're doing that background work to understand and so you can educate people who are having these events. It seems like it's not that big of a deal, but liquor is a huge liability at the end of the day. It's impairment. I mean, you're dealing talked about impaired judgment, people getting drunk, could get into an accident, fight. Like there's so many things that could happen.
Especially when you are
responsible for anything that you shouldn't be responsible for. So
yeah, I mean, I think that that's like one of the notions that people don't understand when you have a business in the alcohol industry is how like you can't just go around just like pushing drinks and wine and all this stuff
you can
without like having the proper licenses because you can go to jail. You can get
Yeah.
sued. There's so many, like there's so many things to it, and I feel like when it was so frustrating because I would call down to, like the different departments and stuff like that, and nobody knew
Yeah.
what I needed to get.
Yeah.
I would tell them, "Hey, I am doing this. This. What do I need?"
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not certain. Can I call you? And it happened for like month after month after month
Yep.
until I got to the right person who was like, "Okay, this is what you need. This is how you get it. You submit your application here. Here's my email." Like it took a blessing to get stuff because I was running in circles for so long,
Yep.
so long.
I wish it wasn't that hard. I wish there was some sort of agency set up, so that you could go
Hmm.
to get that information, similar to how you can go places and you can know what kind of licenses you need for food, or if you do hair or whatever, like you can
Not,
go.
it's not effective.
Yeah, it's just too much running around, but
I
like
feel
you do.
like it's not effective as for
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like they have it set up, but it's not effective, especially for minority business.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when it
Mm,
comes to the alcohol beverage industry in general, like I don't feel like we're taken serious as a whole when it
yeah.
comes to entering that industry. Um, it's really hard.
Yep.
A restaurant or get a restaurant license because just off of getting like the licenses I needed for to be a winery
Yeah. Wow.
was insane, insane. And I'm still fighting and stuff. Like I have all of my licenses and permits and stuff, and I'm still fighting with stores and restaurants
Yeah.
daily. So that has been like my little who, it's but I'm getting doors are open. What I've been claiming, which is expansion.
Hmm.
um, what do you see 2024 being for you?
um That's a really good question. I've been thinking about that a lot, honestly. Just candidly, I don't know. I think I want to sort of change the type of events that I do or that I take. There's a lot
Hmm.
I want to, like I said, I've been doing it for 3 years, and so it's like I want to fine tune it a little bit. I still want to do my classes. I have an event, Mocktails in March, that's coming up, with Sharice, and I want to continue. Also, we had the liquor lab too. I want to keep doing things like that, um,
Hmm.
so long as the public, there's interest there, because that's necessary to have a successful event. Um, and then yeah, I do want to also get into a space of kind of not necessarily education, but just talking more about this industry. I think there's a really big push right now for mocktails, which is great. I love the idea of mocktails. I love that people are into mocktails. I love that people who have had, long-term drinking stints or whatever are now transitioning to non-alcoholic.
Yes.
I think though too, sometimes it almost is kind of like that vegan experience. Not to knock any vegan, but like how all of a sudden it was like, oh, if you eat meat, you're the worst person in the world. For some people, that's like how they kind of take that on. And that's the same thing I've noticed with some things within the mocktail world. And it's like, why are we being so critical? So I want to,
Yeah.
there's safe ways to drink alcohol. There's appropriate ways to drink alcohol. There's like the right way to do it. If you're not doing it in that way, maybe there's a problem. Maybe there's, something that you need to fix. Like there's a lot to explore there, but it's not, you're not a bad person if you like a drink every now and then. So that's kind of too what
No,
I,
yeah. I feel like having a healthy relationship with alcohol is really important.
yep.
But I also like recently, like I have clientele now who are asking about non-alcohol wines. and
Yep.
I'm actually teaching a non-alcoholic wine class right now. So, giving them that space, but at the same time, it's like that's not everybody's space.
Yeah.
Healthy relationship with wine or liquor in general, but at the same time, it's like I know that I don't want to just stop drinking.
Yeah.
So I think that, but having those doors open for people who actually really, truly, there's people who are like fighting between life and death when it
Right.
comes to alcohol, and they can't control their consumption
Mm-hmm.
at all. Like, I've seen it. I work in this industry, so I've had clients who in the morning and they're outside with 3 bottles of vodka. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing right now? So I've seen it firsthand, and it's a tough and sticky situation for people, especially once they have the disease.
Mm-hmm.
That is a great safe space to create for them, because when it comes to not drinking, a lot of people feel left out. They
Yeah.
feel like, I'm not going to be invited anywhere. I'm not going to be able to, like go anywhere. Know how to have fun without being drunk. A lot of people don't understand who they are as people without liquor.
Yep.
So having those mocktails available, and then they still like, I think that some people put like, it's not liquor in them, but it's like,
Yep.
so I've seen that, or I've been asked about that. I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know. But, like giving them at least an area to be safe
Right. Yeah.
where they can drink, or, oh, I'm not drinking right now, because that's weird to tell people too, especially when you've been lit for 20 summers.
Right. So do you?
When you've been lit for 20 summers, you tell somebody I'm not drinking, or whatever, the first thing they say is what? You
Yeah.
pregnant?
Yeah. Exactly. Uh-huh. Like, and
Oh,
that's like,
and they're
it's
like,
almost,
oh, you ain't drinking, and then I feel,
you should just say,
huh?
okay, cool. Like if somebody says I'm not drinking, cool. No further questions. Like we got to get to a place of just not asking further questions. That's their choice to not drink. Like, nope, don't want to today. All right.
That is, it's like, it's crazy because the people who they question about not drinking anymore are the same people who they don't want to drink at events because they normally
Yep.
act the fool.
Yep. Exactly.
Like, why are we questioning Uncle? We should actually be happy and making him the best water.
Right.
Uncle Tim should have the best water, the best mocktails
Exactly.
possible tonight. Because last time Uncle Tim drunk, he ran off on the police. It's always those individuals where when they try to stop, everyone treats them a certain way.
Yeah.
And it's like we should really learn how to support them in
Exactly.
that manner of them not drinking. Like, I know I have a certain couple of people, praise God.
Mm-hmm.
Because last time you got crazy. It got crazy. Like last time it got crazy.
Yeah.
So, just loving on people. I encourage everyone who has anyone that to support them, to love on them, to not laugh at them, to literally give them love. Like, you have to give people love when they're trying.
Mm-hmm.
Even that goes for anything that they're trying in. I hate when the new year comes around and people are like, let these folks try.
Right.
You have to keep trying until you get better. What was that old cheer? Good, better, best. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and then your better is best. Let these folks live their life and try.
Right.
Like, you have to keep, if your credit was bad and you stopped at your credit being bad, would you be a homeowner by now?
Right. No.
No. So if hell, if I was a hot girl for 6 summers and I decided, let me do that.
Right.
Like, stop telling people what they can and can't do. Like,
Yeah.
we can do anything that we put our minds to. Any person can be anything that they want to be at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
And it does not matter what you think you know about a person.
Exactly.
I'm sick of that too. Stop telling people who I know who you are. You don't know me, bitch. Stop
Right.
telling people who you think
Oh, me.
you
You.
are because we don't even talk.
Yeah.
We don't even talk no more. Stop saying that. Like that's so. I think that's I. It's so many little growing and being better people,
Yeah.
and those are my real nicks. Like, don't tell a person that you can't be better the next day.
Yeah.
We can be whatever we want to be on that next day. If
Exactly.
I wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm let me start working out.
Yeah. Exactly.
But off the topic, sorry, I went on a little rant. But Courtney, I definitely thank you. I got back sweet.
Thank you for having me. I enjoy this little
Timmy made me mad because it was the mocktail talk because mocktails, I think that they are important to a certain genre,
Yeah. Yep.
you know. So to a certain type of life and death,
Yeah.
you know, that
Mm.
could be that could be their highest moment or their lowest. So I
Yeah.
think that they are important. Uh, I'm not at that point where I'm drinking
Yeah.
mocktails.
There's a
I
space.
like my baby, and I have friends. Like I said, I'm actually teaching a wine class right now that's not alcoholic. So I'm learning about that community, and
Yeah.
like I'm really sensitive to it right now because it's like these are people that are literally fighting for their life.
Mm-hmm.
I love that for them
Yeah.
because if I was in that space, I think if I was ever in that space, I would want to feel like I was still a human,
Yeah.
like a regular person. That's just like to me when people like try to change their life and get more spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
and you you the whole for my burlap, B. Like you can't change me. Like, that's equivalent to that for me. Like, I feel like, dang, like, do you want a good meat or a bad meat? Like, burlap, B. Like, but it's that's that. Like, but for those who do drink, great for you.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep toasting and having fun. But if you don't drink, don't feel like you are left out. You definitely can. Like I said, not alcohol wines coming up. Courtney definitely does
Mm.
mocktails. So there's still a community for you.
Yep.
You're still involved, and I'm sure your mocktails are amazing.
I
I'm
think.
sure they are. Yeah. What did you do with the blood orange sangria? Like I didn't get to ask you. So what did you do with the blood orange sangria?
I wanted to just have it the same way that it was mostly because I wanted to try it in its form. But I did put it in the freezer. I got it nice and like really close to frozen, real cold. I cut up some apples and some lemons.
Mm.
Up,
Ooh.
made it. I feel like it's summer. Like I can't wait for summer, spring now.
Oh my goodness. I have not tried it with apples or like super chilled.
Yeah, so with the sangria, if you put in something and put fruit in it, like soak it overnight at least, that's essentially how you're supposed to do the sangria. But you don't have to. If you just want a couple slices of fruit or something in it when you pour it out of the bottle, that's fine too. But it kind of like,
Hmm.
combines with wine if you let it sit overnight. And then you can also add other things to it, like add like a juice if you want to, or sometimes a 7 Up or some sort of lemon lime soda to give it like a little spritziness to it. But yeah, I just wanted to try it in its form and all its glory. Really good. Thank you so much.
No, yeah, thank you. And then I am drinking out of your cup. Thank you. Oh, wait.
Sipping pretty.
I love it so much. I love it so much. It's so cute. Thank you so much. Sipping pretty. I love that for us. No, yeah, but again, thank you for joining me tonight. It was a pleasure. What events do you have coming up? Do you have anything coming up for the public?
Yes, so Mocktails in March is coming up. That is March 17th. So it's actually one day. I think it's a great event for anybody who's looking
Ooh.
without alcohol on St. Patrick's Day. We are running low on tickets though. So there is a link to my Eventbrite on social media for it to purchase tickets. So yeah, we're about to kick that off. Throughout the year, do some more liquor labs. Those do contain alcohol usually. And yeah, hopefully maybe we collab in the future on something and get us together in a space. So
We're gonna collab, girl. We are definitely gonna collab. I mean,
yeah.
like I said, I have your eye on those blends, like how to make those into amazing drinks. I really value your opinion when it comes to drinks. So I thank you again for coming tonight and being on Corks and Conversations. Um, Next week, Taylor, she's a local vibe curator. She's a serial entrepreneur, and I wanted to talk about like entrepreneurship and like dive into that form or
Yeah.
that platform. So that'll be on 3. But for today, I had my Courtney. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
All right. And then if you guys make sure that you look into the Mocktail event and then on social media so that they can follow you for future events.
Yes. Mixed MKE.
Mixed MKE, y'all. All right. All righty, girl. Have a good
Thank
night.
you. Night.